The Bay Area also felt some shaking of its own today with several small quakes in the East Bay. A 2.9 magnitude earthquake struck in Piedmont just before 3 o'clock this afternoon. And earlier this morning, a series of quakes rattled San Ramon, with the largest measuring a magnitude 3.6. Our John Ramos has more on what may be behind the recent swarm of quakes in that area.
Earthquakes are not uncommon in the Bay Area, but on this morning, this neighborhood in San Ramon saw more than its fair share of them. This neighborhood in San Ramon sits atop the Calaveras Fault, and for some reason that scientists don't quite understand, tiny earthquakes happen here on a fairly regular basis.
And we've seen them historically: 1970, 1976, 1990, 2002, 2003, 2015, 2018, and now we had a small swarm in November and another swarm now.
But on this morning, the neighborhood around Al Costa Boulevard was particularly active, with 7 mini earthquakes between 2 and 10 a.m. Dr. Anna Marie Balte with the U.S. Geological Survey says how they cluster can be unpredictable.
We don't know exactly why these swarms are occurring exactly where they do, but we've seen them that they can be very focused, and sometimes we see them a little bit longer, or that they move in time. So in 1990, we saw one that kind of moved along in time. We think it's some small sort of micro movements along the fault or along smaller faults in the area. And that's just generating a couple little earthquakes that sort of pop off and trigger each other.
They were triggering all around Sef Hamid's neighborhood, including one 2.7 magnitude shaker directly beneath his home.
2 a.m. was the first one. We were sleeping, the bed shook, and I went to the kids to check them, and they were up. So
It woke them up?
Yeah, both the kids were up, 5-year-old and the 7-year-old. Yeah.
Were they scared, or did they think it was kind of cool?
They thought it was cool. They were excited.
How about you? What did you feel?
I was a little scared.
Hamid says it's a little unnerving to realize that an earthquake is happening in his own yard, albeit about 9 kilometers deep in the earth. But the one that really got his attention was the quake initially registered at 3.7 that happened less than a mile away.
It is exciting, in a way, but it's also scary. As long as it's a small earthquake, it's fine. But I don't want this to be like a big one.
Across the street, Lisa Barganquas said she actually got tired of all the shaking and began yelling at the earth to settle down.
Today it was, you could hear the blinds, you could hear the house cracking, and I was just, I keep wondering, okay, when is the second story going to come down on us? That's, yeah. And then, you get to the point where it's just like, okay, come on, all right, are we done yet? Because we're on the third one, the fourth one, from that day, so, yeah.
Of course, the big question is, are the mini quakes leading to something bigger? Dr. Balte says anything can happen at any time, but what's occurring in San Ramon is still pretty typical.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that, but I hope she's right.
You have your doubts?
Yes, absolutely. You never know. Nature can be unpredictable.
Dr. Balte says small earthquake swarms often occur when the massive plates move a little bit and then take some time to readjust. Then things tend to quiet down for a while, which will be welcome news to the people living off Al Costa Boulevard.
Well, the seismologist that we spoke to said that for practical reasons, earthquakes are actually only registered after they reach 2.0 on the scale. But the Earth, is constantly shifting, so some amount of movement is happening at all times.